Today we're going to take a look at some of the 2024 Sterling Ink Common Planners. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Julie. So today we're going to be taking a look at some of the planners from Sterling Ink. So last year I went ahead and purchased the B6 Common Planner. Now I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have as much knowledge about Sterling Ink as I do with maybe like Hobonichi or other planners like that. So my only experience with Sterling Ink is the B6 size Common Planner. I think last year it only maybe came in this black color. I have mine in like this olive green Moterm cover. It had like the gold foiled edges. It's kind of hard to see in this video, but this was pretty much like their launching of their planner. This was some of the pages that I did recently in here. I'm kind of toying with, is B6 my size? That's a whole separate video, so stay tuned for that. So that was my original experience with Sterling Ink. Well, then this year, they came along and introduced a variety of different sizes, different styles, and different cover colors that has the planner community and all kinds of a frenzy, myself included. Holy cow, because really all that I ordered from the pre-order, so they did do a pre-order type of a launch with their planners, was this Weeks Compact and the A5 Full Year Common Planner. So I'm going to kind of compare some other planners, but by no means is this saying that one is better than the other. Hopefully this helps you make an informed decision, an easier decision for yourself. Best of luck to you, because I am still sitting here like I have no clue what I'm going to do. But what we are going to do is jump into these planners. Okay, so the first one is the Common Planner in basically the Weeks size. I ended up getting the compact. There is another size that has like way more notes pages, but this is the compact size that I purchased. So the cover that I got is the black cover. It's almost like this textured faux leather situation with the gold foiling on there. I did not get the gold like gilded edges on the side. What is it, gilded? I don't even know. Immediately what I loved are the color options with the Common Planner. If you've purchased from Hobonichi, you know they have a very like unique, almost eclectic style of cover. Sometimes it can make it really difficult to decide which one you're gonna get because they're just so like, the variety is just kind of all over the place. And then they don't ever bring back colors that were once loved the year prior. Again, and a lot of it is based on, just very like artistic designs and things like that. So the Common Planner comes in some pretty, I would say like more neutral palettes. You have like your black, your camel color. I think there was a color called like Mist or something like that, like a greenish blue, colors like that are very just warm and neutral, nothing with patterns on them. So I got the black in this one, and you can see like the depth here. I'm also going to grab the Weeks really quick, the Hobonichi Weeks, so you can kind of see the comparison in case you're thinking of one or the other. Here is my 2024 Weeks, and this is just a standard Weeks, so not the mega. So I would say that these two are going to be the ones that are most comparable as opposed to the Common Planner, the one that's not compact. All right, so when we jump in, we kind of have this beautiful just cream color. I wouldn't even say their pages are cream color. As you can see through my camera, they're pretty bright white. And this is where the biggest difference is going to be in the Weeks versus the Common Planner. You can kind of see the color here, and I'm going to tell you it's vastly more different in person than it's showing up here. This doesn't look so bad through my camera, but it is more yellow. If you're not familiar with Hobonichi, they make their Weeks as an on-the-go planner, so the yellow is indeed intentional to avoid strain on your eyes. So you do have a year at a glance. I will say that the print is a little bit more bold in the Hobonichi than it is in the Common Planner. And I'm sure you can see that just from this distance here, but I'm going to bring it a little bit closer so that you can see what I'm talking about. It is still a little bit more faint in the Common Planner than it is in the Hobonichi Weeks. So you just get all of 2024, and then you're going to get some grid on the bottom here. And that's kind of why I have you guys zoomed in here, because it's going to be hard to see items or print on the page from further away. You've got a couple of grid pages. Not gonna lie, this page was playing tricks on my eyes. I was like, what's going on this page? It's just grid, I think. Then you're going to have your goal breakdown page. So this has your someday, 1 year, half year, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily goals. So those are the headers across there, and then they're kind of broken down into the separate categories over on the left, however you choose. After that, you're going to get what I would say is comparable to these pages in the weeks. So it's going to be, it's hiding, but this vertical situation here, except this is kind of drawn out more per quarter in the Common Planner, whereas in the weeks, this is like the whole, all 12 months on 2 pages. There's definitely a goal setting aspect to the Common Planner. So you're gonna have your Q1, an area for your priorities, January, February, March, and then you're gonna have your month at a glance vertical, and then it's gonna go on for Q2, and then the same thing for Q4. Again, I hope that this is coming out as clear as possible. Again, it's sort of like a dark gray print that they use on here. I would not say that it's black. I would say it's a dark gray. So then after you get to Q4, you're going to get to your months, and it does start with a December month. Now in the weeks planner, you're going to start in, the calendar also starts on December, but you can see that there is some color on the pages of the weeks. So they always have the gray shading on Saturday, and then the red shading on Sunday, and then I believe there's red shading for any of their holidays. There aren't any shading, anything like that, or any holidays printed in this planner, which, you know, it's up to you if you really need that in your planner. What I do like here though is in this very tiny box right here, it's going to give you the week number. So you're going to know that the week that starts November 27th but ends December 3rd is week 48, and so on. And you do have the week numbers going all the way down on this side over here. And everything is grid, it's not dot grid. You're going to have all of the months together. So December, January, February, and so on. And then after the months is where you're going to get into the Common Planner weeks inspired layout. Now the months do go to January. So you are going to get a full, you get December and then all of 2024 and then January. So if you need some time to plan ahead, you are going to be able to get that. So this is what the weekly layout looks like, and it is very similar to the weeks layout. So as you can see, and I'm just going to kind of put them side by side. The one big difference here is that you're not going to have the quotes at the bottom. So you do actually have a little bit more space per day to use and to write your tasks, lists, all of those things in there. Same with the right side, because you don't have this little calendar at the bottom. You're going to have the full page of grid. So it is going to come down to personal preference and what you actually really like here. Some other things that are hard to see is that there is like a darker sort of dot there to show you where the halfway mark is on the weeks page. Is it on the horizontal? I don't see it here, but my eyes could be playing tricks on me. But you could easily use the line between Wednesday and Thursday as your halfway point across the page here. At least that's how I would do it. So again, every week after that is the same. And again, you don't have any of the shading, you don't have any of the quotes at the bottom. So you are going to get a little bit more space to work with. If you were kind of like, the week size is just a little bit too like cramped for me, this is going to be a really good option. After all of the months, you are going to get, I believe it is 121 pages of grid notes pages. None of them are dated. They are just straight up grid, and then nothing else after that in the back of the book. Pretty straightforward planner. In the regular weeks, I believe you're gonna get, is it like 78? I can't remember. Let's see, there's all of these extra pages back here. 69 pages of grid in the back of the standard weeks. So there you go. There's the comparison between the Common Planner Weeks Edition and then the Hobonichi Weeks Edition. All right, let's jump into the A5 size, because I think that this was the one that had me the most like, I don't know if I'm going to use the Hobonichi Cousin next year. I'm just not 100% sure. Although I will say Hobonichi offered a lot more options in the Hobonichi Cousin this year. Like, you can get a black cover. They have the other Han covers. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. You can get it in like the Liberty fabrics, for instance. I don't actually know if that's correct. Someone let me know. Also, one thing I want to mention is that I think on the Hobonichi, there is the 2024. It's just embossed. It's blind embossed on the spine here, whereas on the Common Planner, it's foil embossed on the spine there. But this was the one that really piqued my interest, was the Common Planner A5 full year. So this is pretty much like a Hobonichi Cousin user's dream. If you're like me and you have anxiety about leaving blank daily pages because they are dated, this might be the book for you. Also, I want to add, if you need any sort of pricing and information on when they're going to do another pre-order, please check out the Sterling Ink Instagram and their website for information. The owner is constantly putting up updates along with in their Facebook group, sharing updates as far as shipping times for pre-orders and when the next pre-order will be announced. I don't want to like misspeak. There's a lot of details with this launch that is just kind of overwhelming for me, but when they say pre-order, I just jump in and pre-order. I did not get the one with the gold edges. I got the white edges. I think that also had something to do with ship time. So you're going to get that nice cream color page right here, right when you open it. There's not really like much of a title page. It's very like minimalistic, if you will, again in that sort of gray font there. That's just kind of not very in your face, doesn't take up a whole page, but you do get a year at a glance. You do get those 2 grid pages. Now my year at a glance in my current Cousin, I can't even remember if I actually used that page, but that's what that looks like. I kind of covered up the current year with stickers, but again, there's some color on here for the Sundays, and I don't see that they put holidays on here. No. So just the Sunday is red, and then you're going to get like the vertical months as well. It's kind of like broken up by quarters, just like in the weeks. All right, let's jump back to the Sterling Ink version. So it's going to be a lot like the weeks. You're going to have this goals breakdown page that has the goals and then the categories across. So the Sunday, 1 year, half year, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. Then you're going to go into each quarter. So you have Q1 and then the 3 months going down vertically, Q2, Q3. I don't think I ever actually used this in my B6 Common Planner, but I feel like I have some ideas for this coming year depending on which planner I go with. And then you have the month starting in December. It is just so much bigger than in the weeks size, obviously size reasons, and also grid on the background, so there's no dot grid. Then when you get to the weekly pages, this is where I kind of noticed some chatter within the Facebook group that the print of times on the weekly pages was darker this year. You might be like looking at my pages and you're like, where? I don't see anything. Well, let me pull up the current Common Planner in my B6 size, and I notice it as well too. Let me zoom you guys in so you can see. The print is definitely much darker in the newer version. And I saw someone say that it was a little bit distracting. I don't know. I feel like I got kind of used to it with the Hobonichi. That's just, their numbers, I wouldn't say are very dark, but they're there and you just kind of get used to them. I don't know, maybe it's just my eyes are used to it, but this doesn't really bother me a whole lot. I actually think it's easier on the eyes, taking it a little bit darker like it is in the new version. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I personally like it, but this is how the weekly page looks. It is, let me zoom back out so you can actually see what I'm talking about. This is the first week in January, and you do have your month at a glance over on the left, the days of the week across the top, along with the number of the the day of the month that we're in. It does start at 6 a.m., ends at midnight, and then you've got this grid area down here on the bottom. I mean, it's grid through and through, so it's grid everywhere, basically. And that's how the weeks are. The weeks are all together. And then when you get to the back where daily pages should start is where the fun begins, you guys, because this book has no dates in the back. So unlike the daily and the Hobonichi Cousin, there's no need to stress about dates being in the back of your book, or any color in the back of your book for that matter, because there's no color in the common planner. But if you're someone who's like, I am going to use the back of these pages for whatever and whenever, then this book might be for you, because you don't have to worry about dates in here at all. They don't take up any space on the page. You're truly just getting there's quite a bit of pages. I want to say there's one for every day of the year in case you want to truly be a daily person. There's actually 369 it took me a second, 369 grid pages. So you have one for every day and then some if you really want to use one page per day. Or if you're just someone who's like, I just want to jump in here with some grocery lists, some meal plans, and not worry about dates. And then you can actually, what I have thought of doing before in the past is using one of the front pages as, let's say, that grid page in the back that I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. This could be your index if you needed it to be in the back, if you're not truly going to use these for daily pages, things like that. Just a thought. But that's kind of what you could do here if you're having trouble finding what you're doing in the back of all of these pages. But this is just a really beautiful book. I think that if you were looking for something like The Cousin without the stress of the daily pages, this is going to be the one for you. You do have to pre-order though. I just want to preface that. These are not going to be as readily available as the Hobonichi brand, so please consider that and please be patient. Let's jump into the B6s, because these I did not order. I actually purchased them off of people who got their orders, and they knew when they got their orders, they just were not interested anymore. And, you know, just for full disclosure, this is completely Claire's fault. Claire from online. I love her content, love her TikTok, her Instagram, all of it. But she shared a reel of her B6 Common Planner, and she was just jumping right in, and I was like, now why didn't I get it in the camel color? This camel color is absolutely stunning. I really wish that I had ordered the A5 and the weeks in the camel. I really, really do. I do have regrets about that. So if you see me in the buy sell trade group wanting to swap this one with someone else, no you didn't. So this is the B6 size. It is kind of like the little brother or sister of the A5. Here's the difference, right? I actually really love the B6 size. I really, really do. And here's why. Because it kind of relieves you of the pressure, and this is exactly the same as the A5. So if I don't flip through every single page, because it's exactly the same book, I don't always fill up an A5 size page with journaling, with notes, with things like that. And B6 kind of relieves that pressure of needing to fill up such a big amount of space. Again, you're going to get the same thing. You have like that front little title page. You've got the 2024 calendar. You've got the 2 grid pages we're still figuring out what we want to do with, the goal breakdown page, the quarterly goals pages. I mean, you get literally everything the same in every single planner. It's outstanding. You have the month on 2 pages with the grid background and no color on the pages. Like, it's a really well done planner, especially if you love this kind of paper that gets all crinkly and beautiful as you write on it. It is just a stunning planner. Now, the big difference obviously is going to be your weekly pages. A lot of folks, if you're a sticker user, a heavy sticker user, and you're like, oh my God, where do I get kits? I need kits. I need things that fit. You're just going to have to get a little bit more creative with B6 is my answer to you. Because I think that you can plan perfectly fine without sticker kits. Honestly, I feel like that's the way the trends are going in the planner community, and I can do a whole separate video about that as well. But I really think that this gives you the space that you need. If you write big, I think that there's still plenty of space to plan in here. I think that B6 is really just that nice, like, sweet spot, right? Like, the week size can be a little bit too small and too narrow for some folks, and then A5 is like way too big, right? So this is like the Goldilocks of them all, if you will. So I do have, this is the full year common planner, right? So you're going to get the 369 pages of notes pages, but she also offers, as well as the 2-book version, she also offered the common planner in the compact. So if you're like, there is no way I'm ever going to use 369 notes pages, but I want all the same thing, you can get the compact version that only has the 121 notes pages in the back. And then here's the difference there. So, and obviously this one does not have the gold edges and this one does. So I don't know, if I had to only pick between these two, I'd probably pick the one with more pages because I would panic. I would panic and then be scared to use pages back here because I'd be worried that I wouldn't have enough. That's just how my brain works. So if I do end up going with B6, it's going to be this beautiful planner, and I can already, honestly, you guys, look how gorgeous that's going to look in this beautiful Moterm cover. All right, so there is a look at the Sterling Ink planners that I have for 2024. Please drop your questions below. Questions and no judgments, please. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this 2024 Common Planner launch. Have you gotten one? Are you thinking of getting one? Are you thinking of pre-ordering the next round? I believe in November will be the next round of pre-orders. But again, please go follow their Instagram, join the Facebook group, all of those things, their email list. They are definitely very good at communicating what's going on with shipping times as far as pre-order goes. And I'm super excited. I'm excited to see that there's another option that is just so similar to Hobonichi with more options that are more the style that I love to plan with. So the verdict is like, you know, what are you going to use? I can already tell that might be the number one question. What are you going to use? I don't know. I don't know. And it's still only October of 2023. So I have plenty of time to decide. But if you have a thought on what you think that I should use in 2024 from this stack of planners right here, let me know down in the comments because I would love to know and I need your help. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me today looking at these planners. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you're already subscribed, make sure you click that notification bell so that you know when my videos are posted here on YouTube. As always, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.